Good morning, everybody. I'm Tom Vasel, and we are here live from the Vasel household, which is currently fairly empty at the moment. My wife and daughters are out on a trip, and so for the next the next 4 days, it's just me, Jimmy, and the dog here at home. So that's good. He's currently we're gonna as when I'm done with the Q&A here, we're gonna go to the zoo. The Dice Tower has taken several days off here because we will normally do this after one of our spectacular events because there's a lot going on. There's a few things, different videos going up, but not too many. And at the end of the day, we just need to, take some time to relax. I have a hard time doing that. I've been working all week. Someone asked if there's no breakfast today. There's not breakfast today. There might have been weekend review. No, there's no weekend review. No weekend review. No breakfast today. Not almost nothing tomorrow. When the first thing we'll be back will be our 2 o'clock crowd surfing show. But don't worry, I've been working really hard. Although maybe not in the things that you might think. You can't see this. You can see a little bit here. This table's covered with papers, and that's all due to us trying to move, the studio. The amount of paperwork involved in that makes me want to punch papers. I'm not a fan of paperwork in general, and this has been quite a bit of paperwork. We're working on it, and I don't really have any news to give you all, but when I'm hoping within a couple weeks I'll be able to give you all some definitive news about the what our new studio and what we're planning to do with all that. What did I have for breakfast? I had some yogurt and was it raspberries? No, today was yogurt and strawberries. And a cup of tea. I guess I should be answering questions here, folks. So if you have any questions, go ahead and ask them. I missed the zoo and the aquarium. Yeah, well, the zoo here in Miami is really nice. I mean, it's a walk, right? And you're definitely going to want sunscreen when you go to the zoo. So I'm getting ready. We're going to go there. I might get the bike. They have bikes at the zoo, and me and my son will bike around. And we're just going to do some bonding. He's pretty excited about it. I'm excited about it. I love my daughters, of course, but this is a chance for him and me to spend some time together. And the dog. The dog is already morosely sitting by the front door because all the kids, everyone else is gone. But you know what? She'll get over it, or she won't. I don't know. I thought the dog liked me the best. We'll find out. Did I get Street Fighter the Miniatures game in? No, I was not sent a copy of that. To be fair, I've kind of beat up on Jasco games in the past, so I doubt they would send me one as a review. Well, I continue to review the Exit series. I never did play the Catacombs, sorry. The new Jigsaw Puzzle spin-offs, those are on the way to the Dice Tower, and I will play and review them. Take a look at that stack of United. Yeah, and you know what? I have played, and I kept track. Where is it? Here I kept track of my wins and losses of the different people I played it against. So you can see here, for example, I played Ghost Rider, America Chavez, and Hawkeye against, who was it against? Corvus. So you can see all my wins and losses here. So I'll be talking about these in a couple weeks. And I'm also going to be, just for the fun of it, I built an Excel document and looked at all the stats of the different characters and things. And I'm going to rank all the heroes. I believe there's 50, 60 heroes. I don't remember exactly how many there are. I'm going to rank them all from my favorite to least favorite. And also my villains from favorite to least favorite. My favorite villain, I know hands down. And my favorite heroes, that's trickier. I have like 4 or 5 that are in the top slot there. Actually, it's easier for me to tell you the heroes that are my least favorite, but that will be coming later on. It's weird to me that you love Cosmic Encounter but dislike the older Dune game, considering many similarities. Why do you think that is? Well, let me go to Board Game Geek here. And let's pull up Dune and see what my rating on Dune is. It's an 8. I don't think that's dislike at all. I don't like it as much. I think it requires a few too many variables, as in it doesn't work with, I think, less than 5. 6 is optimal. The playtime is wildly all over the place. It could end in an hour and a half. It could end in 4 hours, depending on what happens. I think there's a lot of really cool things about it. I think it could use a jump to the modern age, but by no means do I dislike it. I think it's a quite a fine game. When are you reviewing the Doctor Who TARDIS game? It looks like it will be fun. The review, not the game. I have already filmed the review, and that will be going up this week, actually, I think. So later on this week. Initial thoughts on the rest of Marvel United. Well, I'll tell you what. After playing Marvel United 27 times over this weekend, I would not play the game if I disliked it that many times. I just wouldn't. And definitely this stuff here was needed. I mean, there was stuff in the base game and it was fun, but having this extra stuff certainly doesn't hurt. Does Jimmy have a favorite animal? Jimmy's favorite animal? I don't know, actually. His favorite stuff is Super Mario. In fact, right now, he is currently watching the old Super Mario cartoon. Yes, I know it's horrible. Like, universally derided. Everyone hates it, but he loves it. But that's because he is a Mario fanatic. That's all he wants. He has Mario bed sheets. He has Mario clothes. He loved that new Mario game on the Switch is his favorite game. Mario Maker, he's constantly bringing me levels to beat, which I can't. And then he's like, I'm better than you, Dad. Yeah, okay. But I'm better than you at Skyrim. Oh, that doesn't really work. If he had a favorite animal, I guess it would be a bear. I don't know. Do I feel pressure now after the success of Mike's intro? Well, no, but I think having Chris on board will be able to do some more fun intros like that. Did everything go smoothly behind the scenes for the Spring Spectacular? Pretty much. I mean, we had some mistakes. I mean, a couple times the mics weren't right. The internet went out during the marble race, which was annoying. But, you know, hang-ups like that are just going to happen. I don't think there was any major big hang-ups, which is a useful thing, right? I always expect small hang-ups. You know, my daughter was getting married. I told her something's going to go wrong. Let's just hope it's not a big thing. And then I don't even remember what the thing was that went wrong. I was like, that's it. Like at my wedding, what was the thing that went wrong? Well, the thing that went wrong was not great at my wedding, but I hired, well, I was very poor at the time. So I hired a teenage girl in my church to do the video of the wedding, and she just forgot to bring a tape cassette for the video. So I have no video of my wedding. We have pictures, no video. But, you know, I remember the wedding. Not much of it, actually. It was the most nervous I've ever been in my life, I think. I mean, not counting when my kids were in the hospital. But of, like, being in front of people. Easily the most nervous time. And, yeah, I don't remember a ton of it, but it was a great day. I can look at the pictures and remember that. So, it'd been nice to have that video for sure, but we can survive. Was I happy with how the Spring Spectacular turned out? I was. It was really good. I mean, every time we do it, I'm like, oh, we'll do this next time. Oh, we'll do that next time. And, you know, I really can't wait till, you know, we have the new studio and till we're all back together. Most of us are fully vaccinated at this point. And then when we're all fully vaccinated, have the whole crew together and live, and then we can bring in other people who are vaccinated and stuff, and I think that'll be good. You're often quoted as saying good games will get reprinted, but can you think of some good games that are out of print and seem forgotten? No, I really can't. And I think my term is great games, because there's a lot of good games out there. Great games will always get reprinted, period. Unless there's an IP issue or the designer refuses to allow it to be reprinted. You know, like Star Wars Queen's Gambit, Glory to Rome. There's a few games that, because of rights issues, they can't get reprinted. But if the rights are available, it's going to happen, because they're reprinting games that I thought were merely okay. Thank you for all the nice words, by the way, about the Spring Spectacular. Have you invited Melody to review anything with you lately? Well, Melody lives in Pensacola, Florida, which is quite a far away from me. So she is going to college still and has just gotten married, so I would imagine her time is quite full. Do you think internet should be provided as a utility like water and electricity is? I guess I don't understand that question because I pay my internet bill, I pay my water bill, and I pay my electricity bill. So I'm not really sure what that means. They all are utilities to me. When I do my tax at the end of the year, I definitely put them all in the same category. Who am I pulling for in the Kong versus Godzilla matchup? Well, I fully expect, and don't spoil me or anyone else in chat in this. I haven't watched the newest trailer because I know the newest trailer shows some stuff. That's what I heard. So I haven't watched the newest trailer. But I fully expect them to fight for a very brief time and then fight a mutual enemy because that's just always how these things work. But I would Kong all the way, not even a close. I like Godzilla fine, but I love King Kong. So I'm root for King Kong. Are you a fan of cereal? No. In your top 100, you allude to the fact that Merchants and Marauders is getting a reprint, but I haven't seen any announcements about it. I honestly don't remember. I would go to the Merchants and Marauders Board Game Geek page, and I'll just do that right now for you. I will save you the trouble of researching. Let's see. It's been a long time since I remember hearing about it, but I definitely heard about it. Let's see here. New edition coming this year. Oh, someone heard a rumor about it, but it was from the Dice Tower. Well, I thought I heard it somewhere, and I might be wrong. Have I played Red Rising from Stonemaier? No. People keep asking me this, so I don't normally answer these questions as much. But just to clarify, I've not got the game yet, so I've not played it. When I get it, I'll play it, and we'll review it. People keep asking me how I feel about the Spring Spectacular. I thought it went well, but maybe you should tell me if you thought it didn't go well. I like to have each spectacular kind of have its own motif. Obviously, the winter one's the easiest because it's end of the year. This one had Mike's solo games, and we also announced the Dice Tower Award nominations. And we had the Marble Championship race. Although the Marble Championship race may end up being something in all of our spectaculars. We'll see. What are some upcoming Catch-A-Paloozas? I don't think we have any on the schedule right now. Right now, we're kind of just taking a break from Spring Spectacular. I know we talked about something on a Catch-A-Palooza, but for life of me, I can't remember what it is. We'll have a discussion about that next time we get together. How's the memorial auction going? Well, and thank you for mentioning that. Also, a couple announcements here, which I hope everyone will see. I know that the cruise tickets are going on sale April 1st, which is only a few days away. So if you want to come to the cruise in 2021, you're certainly welcome to. And the Jack Vasel Memorial Fund, which is the question being asked. I don't know that those correlate with cruises. I'm just trying to get my announcements out of the way. The Jack Vasel Memorial Fund auction, which you can find on the front page of BoardGameGeek.com, is going well. It's a way to support a fund where we help people in their times of needs. And gamers, when they need help, a traumatic thing happens in their life, outside the realm of human control, then they email us, and we have a committee of different people. We vote on that, and then we send them money. And we can do that quicker than, them doing a GoFundMe or something like that. So I skipped Marvel United last time. Should I make up for that with the next Kickstarter since I love X-Men? Honestly, go watch the review of the game and maybe watch my expansion reviews because, it doesn't matter if you like X-Men or not. If you don't like the game, you're not going to like the game. I also like X-Men better than the rest of the Marvel Universe, which is weird because the Marvel Cinematic Universe is amazing and I like it so much. And it really has brought I've always liked Captain America. but it's brought all those other characters who I didn't normally think much about. The Avengers were always second tier to me compared to the X-Men, but I'm really glad to see the X-Men coming in. Which game do you think is the most passionate fan base? Not counting CCGs. I don't know. I think there's passionate fan bases for Lacerda games, for sure. There's passionate fan base for Phil Eklund's games, for 18XX games, for Heavy War games. There's just a lot of games that have a very passionate fan base, and that's fine. Until you yell at people who don't like your game, I guess. Comcast had the nerve to put an ad on my Twitter talking about how great their service was. I agree. AT&T, some guy from AT&T swung by my house and was asking me about, should I upgrade, blah, blah, blah. But I already have AT&T. And I was like, I'm not a big fan of AT&T, but compared to Cosmic Encounter, they are angels. Is a Waste Knights or Cosmic Frog review in the works? No and no. You can see Waste Knights over here, but I have not played it yet. It's there to be played. It just hasn't got played. Although that's the only game there that hasn't been played. I mean, well, no, I haven't played Gridopolis yet, but the Quest Kids underneath that is my son's favorite game at the moment. And then in magnificent style, Pickett's Charge, I just played that. And obviously I've played all the Marvel United stuff. You said you were nervous at your wedding. You seem to be a pretty cool customer. Well, thank you, but that's a lie. What's something small that makes you nervous these days? Something small? Well, if I knew there was a spider in this room, that would make me nervous. I should bring this down a bit. I get nervous about deadlines and I don't know. I'm trying to think of small things because the things I think I get nervous about aren't small. I'm nervous when I have to confront somebody, like in real life, on a one-to-one basis, because I'm not a big fan of that. What is the next top 10 on the podcast? There's currently no open voting. Oh. Let me look. I'm surprised that there's no open voting. Yeah, there is. If you go to our website, it's games that start with Y. It does seem that there's a problem there. Well, I will email the webmaster right now. The top 10 list. There you go. That is customer support live. Alrighty, what do we got here? When do the Dice Tower Awards winners get revealed? That will be in July during the Summer Spectacular. The July Summer Spectacular is July 6, 7, 8, and 9. Have you ever been interested in genealogy or family history? I'm very interested in that sort of thing. Unfortunately, my ancestors did not keep good records. My grandfather was adopted, which doesn't help matters, and he was very, very quiet and never talked about it, so I don't have much information on that. My aunt went and did some research on the subject, but as best you can tell, our name was something. We don't know. It was like Wasylinski from the Czech Republic, maybe. And then we think that it was changed to Wassel, or because of the mispronunciation, just Vassal. Maybe. The problem is we just don't know. When I did 23andMe, I was a quarter Czech, and I was the other 75% was French and German. Big shocker on how I look. But I'm assuming most of that's from my mom's side. But I mean, I'm interested in this sort of thing. We just don't have a lot of information about it. Contests are drawn. We don't post the results on our website until we've contacted the winners and confirmed with them that they are the winners. So you usually have to wait for that. But I think it's tomorrow anyway that the results would go up because that was a week ago from tomorrow. I mean, from tomorrow that we played the game, and usually contests last a week. How is COVID influencing your dice tower work? Well, I mean, it's influenced us by us not being together for a good chunk of the time. We have to do a lot of our videos online streaming. Everyone complains about microphones and internet lag and everything. And I'm like, what? Well, we can't be together, in many ways. So that's affected us. It's also affected it. Shut down Dice Tower East twice. It shut down the Dice Tower Retreat, shut down the cruise, and shut down Dice Tower West. That's not a small thing, folks. That's a big deal. The situation in Miami is fine. We got really good weather here. Everyone masks up in Miami. I believe it's the only area in Florida that really does mask much. Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach type areas. But everything is open to the most part, and people are just careful. I mean, obviously, people aren't careful down here in many ways, just like people aren't careful everywhere. People are people. It's a shame the marble track couldn't be integrated with Gravitrax. Well, I like Gravitrax fine, and Gravitrax are cool, but I think the marble ramp, the new marble track, does very well on its own. How's the move going? Well, we haven't started the move yet because we haven't got the place settled yet. That takes longer than people might think. I know it seems like I've been talking about this forever, but it's been, I think, only a month. So there's a lot going on in regards to that and getting the place. And then once the place happens, we will let you know when we once we have everything set and we move. We're going to be really open about that because we're going to record videos and show you a little bit behind the dice tower. I never did a review for the expansion Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. You mean the newest one? I've turned over all talk about Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea to Roy. It's because it's one of his favorite games. Are you going to name the Enforcer marbles and Shoots and marbles? They actually have names. I just forgot what they were, which is why I didn't say them when we did the championship. Let's see here. Since a year has passed, how much has the coronavirus changed the gaming industry? Well, I think, I mean, obviously it has hurt local game stores and distributors quite a bit. Many local game stores have been able to slide with the times and work with it, open up online game shops and things like that. It has definitely slowed down production for companies. Kickstarters were delayed across the board, and even now are going to be delayed some more thanks to ships getting stuck in the Suez Canal and such. Um, and so publishers weren't able to show things at conventions. Conventions are hurting dramatically. And I know people tend to not think about the people behind conventions, right? You might think about that with the Dice Hour because I'm pretty open about it. But there are people who work for Origins and Gen Con and PAX and all these other things. All those people basically had their jobs null and void, or else they got paid and the companies who ran them took a hit. So that's a big difference. Will everything come back to normal? I hope so. But we'll have to wait and see when that is. What's my opinion of Falcon and Winter Soldier? I'll save my final opinion until it's over, but so far I've been enjoying it a lot. If every animal could be safely domesticated, what would be your fantasy pet? Oh, a monkey, for sure. I missed a lot of the live stuff at the Spectacular. It seemed you had less planned for our evening. I don't know. I mean, and the daytime saving did not help. The U.S. changes 2 weeks before Europe. Well, I don't know where you are. If you're in Europe, I definitely had stuff planned during your evening since your evening is our afternoon. If you're in the U.S., I didn't plan as much for the evening because we found that these things work really well when we don't overdo it. Every day after the Spring Spectacular, we went home and I crashed almost every day. Very, very tired. But when it was done, even more so tired. But we weren't completely exhausted. And we found that the 24-hour marathons, I know everyone likes watching them, but the 24-hour marathons are very exhausting and cause people to do sometimes foolish things on camera or be more snippish than they normally would. And I know that people like them because they're seeing raw stuff, but you can still get that raw stuff on a regular spectacular without it being over the top or just grumpiness. I don't know. I mean, there's something to be said for a 24-hour marathon. I'm not saying we'll never do one again, but I think the spectaculars work well. And the good news is because we run it on YouTube, you can easily watch it even if it's not live. Um, since you're an X-Men fan, have you read the new status quo for X-Men, House of M and Powers of M? I don't. House of M. I mean, I'm currently reading. Is that the? I don't remember what the storylines are called. The whole Krakoa storyline. Is that what House of M is? That might be what it's called. And Powers of M, is that the sword thing? I don't remember. All I know is that I'm not a huge fan of the current sequence with the X-Men. I feel like it's too ridiculous. The fact that they brought back pretty much, this is not that big of a spoiler, they brought back pretty much every mutant who's ever died, and they can keep coming back to life. And, oh yeah, there's repercussions, blah, blah, blah. Not that big of repercussions. They brought back everybody, villains and heroes, and I felt like there's not a good bad guy then because they're all working together and infighting, and I don't know. I'm not, and I thought the sword storyline just felt silly to me. Not to mention, I cannot for the life of me figure out what's going on half the time. I think some of the new teams are cool, and I like some of the new combinations, and there's some interesting things, but as a whole, I'm not a huge fan of that storyline. How do you deal with conflicts when the Dice Tower reviewer awards a seal of excellence, but you hate the game? I don't care. And I feel like I need to put this on FAQ on our website because we've always done that. We've always done that since the Dice Tower began. If someone in Dice Tower loves a game, wants to give a seal of excellence, they can. This is the Dice Tower. Technically, I've been reviewing now for 18 years. I mean, for almost 20 years. Sorry, 20 years is next year. But I mean, Dice Tower's been around for 17 years or something like that, and it's been that way since the beginning, since the very first podcast. If Joe, we didn't give out seals of excellence then, but if we did, and Joe had liked the game and I didn't, like Joe would give Diplomacy a seal of excellence. I would not. It's never changed. I am not all powerful and cancel stuff. Will you do spectaculars even after cons restart? I don't know. Well, okay, I shouldn't say I don't know. We're definitely going to always do the winter spectacular. I feel like that one is guaranteed. It's the end of the year. And I feel like we'll always do another spectacular, the spring and summer. The fall one's going to be the tricky one. But I like doing them, and I think they work well. Will you be an early adopter of the self-driving car? Well, I would love to be because I hate driving. Like, I hate it. But even though I hate driving, I mean, I think for the self-driving car, it comes down to price. Safety, I'm okay with. I'll sit there gladly and do that. But prices, I think, is what's going to matter. When will you do your full-on Marvel United review week? Possibly next week, not this week. I want to mess with a little bit more. I am going to spend some time maybe tonight or soon. I want to sort out all the heroes and put them in order and all the villains from my favorite to least favorite. I don't know. I tend to enjoy doing stuff like that. Did you play Guildmaster? Yes. Are you looking for a large studio since you're hoping to store the library there? Well, yes, and we would have to have a larger studio for that to happen. Do your kids sometimes act like sore losers when playing board games? Well, sure, every kid does that, although honestly, the only person who would do that at this point is Jimmy. My other kids don't really act like sore losers because I've taught them strongly. I mean, like with punishments if you're a sore loser, because I don't tolerate that sort of thing. We all have to talk about how we're all going to lose at some point. No one can win all the time. I have no tolerance for sore losers. So I don't really think any of my kids are sore losers. They'll yell about losing sometimes, but they yell about losing in the same way that I yell about losing. Like, what? How can I have lost? But I don't think, I mean, my kids yesterday, we played Bullet and a new game from Level 99 Games. It was a 1v1. I was like refereeing. And, one kid destroyed the other, then the other kid destroyed the other. And they both discussed it after the game about why this happened and what happened. Oh, the stuck ship has just been freed. Well, that's nice. Do you know of any company that's been hurt by the Suez Canal situation? Not. I saw some companies on Facebook talking about it, so yes, it happened to some. I saw in your boring unboxing you got painted minis for Arcadia Quest. How do you like them? They're fine. I compared them. It was interesting. Off book, I compared them to some Arcadia Quest miniatures I had that were actually painted for me by somebody else, and the painted ones by somebody else were better. But for painting by a company, they were fine. Someone has said, "Have you played Level 99 new game Bullet yet?" I just answered that. Um, have you seen your viewership increase during the past year? Yes, we have. Would it be a nice idea to get people to play with Dice Tower folks on Board Game Arena like you organized at Essen last year? Um, no, it's not going to happen, folks. I think some of us, like Roy plays on Tabletop Simulator because he's teaching his game that he designed to people, and I know that other people have played on it occasionally. I told everyone they can do what they want on it, but no one really wants to do it that much. I hate it. I know that's bad. I don't like Tabletop Simulator. I don't like Tabletopia, and the more I use them, the more I dislike them. Board Game Arena is better for sure, but Tabletop Simulator, Tabletopia, I don't like the fact that I feel like I have to go do this to look over at the other side of the table, and then to do this, and it gives me the same feeling when I am watching a 3D movie in an IMAX theater sitting in the second row. And I don't like doing that because I feel like I'm constantly doing this and I'm working to watch something when I just want to watch it. And that's how I feel with Tabletop Simulator and Tabletopia. They're great tools, okay? I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm glad they exist. People like them. They're really useful. But for me, Tom Vasel, personally, I feel like I am working at the system, and that's on top of playing the game. And I know people are like, oh, if you do enough, it comes second nature, maybe, but it hasn't yet for me. Now, Board Game Arena is not like that. It's not as pretty as the board games, the other ones, but it works fine. And I still find that I just don't enjoy playing people online as much as I do in real life. The exception being Werewolf. Um, let's see. If I was the captain of the first ship to go through the newly unblocked canal, would you be tempted to pull the biggest, most hilarious prank ever? I would not. Some things aren't funny. Are you also active on Twitch? I'm not. Twitch and me talked about it was a little over a year ago, where Twitch was talking to me about me coming on board there, but they were very clear that if we streamed on Twitch, we couldn't stream on YouTube. And I know a lot of people stream on Twitch. In fact, I would guess the vast majority of board gamers do stream on Twitch over YouTube. And in many ways, Twitch is ahead of the game of YouTube when it comes to streaming. That being said, we really like the YouTube system of videos better. Like if you come and watch a YouTube stream live, it's really easy to move around and go back. Twitch is not so easy. And Twitch is just too young for me. For lack of better terms, there's icons everywhere, flashing stuff, advertisements, and it's just a well of noise, and I don't enjoy it. Also, we have a huge audience on YouTube, and getting them to move over and transfer would be very difficult. So, and you know what? Everyone else is on Twitch, right? So let them do Twitch, and we'll do YouTube, and it works fine, I think. My favorite breakfast food is maybe taco salad. My least favorite breakfast food, I don't know. What's my least favorite food in existence? I don't know. Pick any food. You know, my favorite breakfast food would be my favorite food, which is taco salad, and my least favorite breakfast food would be my least favorite food. I guess I'm confused. You're assuming that I would be required to pick from a category of foods that people assume you should only eat at breakfast time. That makes no sense to me. Do you play X-Men video games? Well, I played a new one on the Switch. It's not new anymore. That one was fine. That's not X-Men. Was that Avengers? I don't think there was any X-Men in it. I used to play the arcade game. And you say, but I don't know if I'd still enjoy playing it today. I still enjoyed playing it. Last year, we went to an arcade in Orlando that you paid to go in. You pay like one price, and then you can stay in there as long as you want and play as long as you want. And it was very fun. I love stuff like that. And so there was the X-Men game was there, and I played through it, and it was still fun. Obviously, controls don't work as well. There's some issues with the game. You do fight a lot of those Sentinel-type creatures over and over and over and over and over and over again. But I love that game. Part of it's nostalgia, but it was just fun. Is this my family game room at home? This is / the den / my office / the family game room / whatever, whatever people want to use it for. Well, we play games. Me and my daughters play games at this table here a lot. As you can see right now, I'm doing paperwork on it. But that's after they went to bed last night. I keep games in here. There's a TV above me on top of the desk that people can watch. And so over there are dog treats for the dog. So where's the dog? Fuzzy! Fuzzy! That dog is sad. The girls are gone. She won't even come see me. And I would have given her a treat. After watching the Snyder Cut, do you want to see more of the story Snyder set up? I don't care. I really don't. If I never see any more, if he made it, I would watch it, but I don't care. Hey, Tom, with Mike and others doing so many solo reviews, have you considered having a different seal of approval excellence for solo modes versus full games? That's interesting. Possibly. If you could only wear one color of clothes for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? Dice Tower Blue. Why? I don't know. I just like that color. People said they can't hear me, but I better go down to the bottom. Oh, okay. Doesn't look like people can hear me still. I'm not going to get into this right now because it's a much lengthy thing about me living in Korea, but it was a great time. And some other time I'll talk about it longer. I'm sorry, but it was a great time. It's 1/4 of my life I spent, well, a little less than 1/4 of my life I spent in Korea. I spent time from when I was, when I was 21 till I was 31 when I came back. Huh. Or was it times different than that? It might be. No, was it 21? No, it was 20. No, it wasn't 21. 20. It doesn't matter. I spent a decade there. In my early 20s to my early 30s. Let's see. Many channels stream sometimes on Twitch and sometimes on YouTube. I really disagree with that philosophy because you're splitting your audience and they have to jump back and forth. I have not noticed any channels really doing that, though. What's your favorite hiking game? I don't hike. Sorry. Is Fuzzy fully grown now? I think she's fully grown. I really want to get her in here. Hang on, let me get a treat for her. Maybe I have a treat for her. Hey, Fuzzy, want a treat? Come here. Jimmy, send Fuzzy up here. I'll be right back. Let me see if I can get the dog. Hey, Fuzzy. Fuzzy, look at this. All right. Well, we'll see if she comes or not. I'm not going to drag her in here. All righty. Let's see here. What do you think would be the biggest change that the industry would have to make if it went as mainstream as video games? That won't happen. And the biggest change that we would have to make would be distribution, I'm sure. By the way, people have asked if I have reviewed a specific game. Just do a search on our YouTube channel. It's the easiest way to do it. Have you considered doing some shows or reviews in Spanish, considering the growth of the hobby in Latin America? No. In fact, I've had offers from that before, and I just straight up have refused. I don't mind someone doing something in Spanish. That's fantastic. It's good to read other people. But it would be confusing to come on our channel and find a Spanish review. Just like it'd be confusing to go on a Spanish channel and find an English review. That's just not going to get the same audience. So that's why I haven't done it. And I'm not starting a Spanish Dice Tower channel. Have you already eaten something today? Yes, it's 9:43. I always eat breakfast because I think it's really important to start the day with something in your stomach. So I've missed lunch before, but I never missed breakfast. Is there a pipe dream of what you want the Dice Tower to eventually evolve into? Or are you totally happy with where Dice Tower is without changing much? I'm happy with where Dice Tower is, but I'm always interested in more. Come here, Fuzzy. I got more treats. Wow, I've never seen her like this. I can always get her up here. She really misses those girls being gone. Well, she's going to be even sadder when me and Jimmy leave in a bit. Anyway, question to here. I'm really happy where the Dice Tower is, but I always have dreams to do more and to do farther, but I don't have, like, dreams of 10 years in the future. Right now, my dream is, let's move into that Dice Tower studio. Let's make that work. Let's get the Dice Tower conventions back on the ground. That's kind of where my dream is. Then when that happens, I'll think of where I want to go next. Do you follow all the South Florida sports? Okay, let's rephrase it. Your question should be, do you follow any of the South Florida sports? And the answer to that would be no. Do you find it important for kids to play more board games than video games? Have fun trying to get that to happen. My kids like board games a lot, but they will pick video games. I make them stop playing video games to play board games, but that's about it. Have you ever got to a game that was too complicated to learn and just passed on it? For sure. Many times. What do you think of the cost of the new Descent game coming out? It's quite expensive, isn't it? I mean, it's like a Kickstarter, so I don't know, compared to a Kickstarter. Dice Tower Essentials are different than Dice Tower Seal of Approval because Seal of Excellence because Dice Tower Essentials are games that I have played, I really like them, and then I get them reprinted underneath Arcane Wonders under the Dice Tower Essentials brand. So they're already games that I like a lot. I want to get them reprinted. I choose them. Then Arcane Wonders reprints them. Now, of course, Arcane Wonders has to also agree that they're worth reprinting. The designer has to agree, obviously. And so that's how those are chosen. But they're different. Seal of Excellence, I give any game a Seal of Excellence. Do I have tradition or plans for Easter? This Easter is going to be pretty quiet. Just going to church. I'll probably do an Easter egg hunt in the house with the kids because that's fun. Does Sleeping God ruin Near and Far? No, I feel like they're very different games, actually. Do you think I should consider creating a family in order to have some people to play games with? That's probably one of the worst reasons to do so. Favorite brand of ice cream? Well, if we're going to be very specific, I think Jenny's ice cream is the best. But that's a local store in Ohio, even though they are getting worldwide. And I have heard people say you can buy them in some stores. I don't have that opportunity, so I'm not counting them right now. Although, I mean, I would be. They're the best. But of the ones I've ever bought in a store, hands down, Turkey Hill ice cream. That's a Pennsylvania brand. There's some good brands that I like down here. I like all the different brands. There's very few ice creams I don't like, except for I'm not a big fan of the big ones you buy in a tub, the generic store brand ones. But I like a lot of creamy ice creams and stuff. But Turkey Hill from Pennsylvania was my favorite. If there was a best rulebook award, who would win this year? Maybe you should wait and see if someone does win the best rulebook award. Is there a part of your house that doesn't have a board game box? Oh, yeah. This is the only... There might be one or two downstairs in the living room, but that's it. The rest are in here. I don't scatter them all over the house. I have almost all my things. Where did the hammering of components after review come from? I don't know. At some point I started doing it, but I don't remember when. I mean, I do remember I got the hammer of judgment. A gavel came with a board game, and I was like, let's start doing this. This will be fun. Dice Tower Judgment, and I started doing it. Jenny's is expensive, yeah, but it's really good. Like, I think it's easily the best ice cream I've ever had. I don't understand this. What's a game to set up with no materials? If there's no materials, you mean like just a game where we talk and say like 20 questions or something? I don't know that I have a favorite of those. No materials. That's what that means. Do we have goals with the pledge manager? Mostly that we need to get the money that we need to get for shipping. That's my goal with the pledge manager. We lost money on shipping last year. A lot of money on shipping. In 2020. I would like to not do that again in 2021. A lot of board game companies they'll either give you free shipping or cheap shipping because they're just factoring that into their price. We don't have prices. Everything for us is donation. So shipping isn't factored into the price. It's just something that has to be paid. The Dice Tower Kickstarter Pledge Manager emails are going out in waves. So everyone should have one by Tuesday or Wednesday, I believe. So we did them in just because we want to make sure everything was working right. Kenny's working on that as we speak. Once they all go out, once all the Kickstarter pledges are out, we'll then start contacting the people who missed the Kickstarter and want to get involved. And then once those are out, we'll open it up for other people. The lady who won Sheriff of Nottingham in a Spring Spectacular is a brilliant gamer. Well, I appreciate that. That's Lindsay Friend. Lindsay Friend is the Dice Tower promotional manager, or she's the reason that we do live plays. She hooks Mark up with all the games that he does for his paid previews. She's the one who sets up a lot of our schedule and helps. She has made the Dice Tower a better thing. She's often behind the scenes. You do not see her. She's been an employee of the Dice Tower for 3 years now, and has done an amazing job. I mean, an amazing job. Lindsay is for sure the reason that the Dice Tower survived 2020 despite the coronavirus, and we appreciate it. She's the driving force behind the spectaculars and does a fantastic job. Is there going to be a crowd surfing this week? There is indeed. What's my favorite top 10 we've ever done? The top 10 overrated games. I think the very first one we did at a Dice Tower Con. It was so over the top silly. We only had 60 people watching it live, but it was so much fun to do one live. The crowd was so into it. It was a lot of fun. Although the one a year after that where we did top 10 gamer stereotypes was also pretty fun. That was the first time we ever did a top 10 show live. Like live streaming over the internet. If an opportunity came up to do a Dice Tower event with the Marlins Panthers, would you consider it? I don't even know what that means. I would consider anything, like that. But, oh, my wife is stuck on the bus. Well, it is what it is. I'm not on the bus. Alrighty, where is the big hammer right now? I don't know where the big hammer is. It's at the office somewhere. I need to bring it out at some point. Do you ever use board game art as actual house decoration? Not here at the house. If I did something like that, it would be... Well, actually, I do have a little piece of it, but that's when I used to have the Dice Tower office here, and I just never took it down. But for the most part, I would use it at the studio. Yep, that's exactly what no materials would mean. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we play all those games, 20 questions, and who knows what, like in a car or something. But I'd rather just have a discussion, frankly. That when you're down to playing 20 games and you're really bored, I'd rather just talk about this and that. I almost never play those games we used to play as a kid, find all the letters of the alphabet on signs and stuff, but When you hide Easter eggs, do you write the name of the kid that is intended for on each egg, or is it a free-for-all? It's a free-for-all. I never even heard of that before, writing the name of the kid, so if you find it and it's not yours, is that the way to make sure every kid gets an equal number of eggs? I found that every kid gets at least some if you do it the other way. It's not too difficult. Oh, I know that Jenny's does national delivery. It's just quite expensive. Who is the most enthusiastic first adopter of new gaming stuff? I think all of us here at Dice Tower like new gaming stuff. Oh, wow. I can see lots of people are waking up and joining the channel here. How much of your time on average do you spend on one average new game for review, including learning and gameplay? I don't know what the average is, frankly, because there are some games that I know how it works in about 10 minutes. They also are games that take 10 minutes. Then there are games that take 22 hours to play through. So it's really wildly all over the place. How is Sam doing? Last time I talked to him, he was doing fine. Are any of your family into circus? Like, if any of my family in the circus? Is that what you're asking? Or do we like the circus? We took the kids to see a circus a few times. I don't know. This is like 8 years ago. We went to see the Barnum and Bailey circus when it came in town. And I've since told them, I'm glad you saw that because that's like a part of American history. And you're going to be able to tell your kids about these circuses that they've never seen. I used to work for the Panthers. They're always looking for interesting ways to use the arena when sports shows aren't in town. Oh, well, I mean, again, if they contacted me, but I would imagine the arena would be super expensive. Since you played the Marvel United X-Men, do you miss playing one versus all games that is more accessible in terms of rules and playing time? Um, I do like playing one versus all games. I wish there was more of them out there. I thought the one versus all thing for X-Men Marvel United was fine, but I don't know. I don't mind playing it as a cooperative game. I would say they were both just as good to me. I didn't play the one versus all and go, this is the way I always play. Obviously, since I just played 27 times as straight co-op. When you move out of the studio, will you finally show the inside of the shed? Maybe. Have you thought about doing a top 10 Vasel family games video? Well, Ruby and Violet are going to be doing their top 50 games later this year. I feel pretty confident that I know what Ruby's number one is, and it's interesting as we play games like we like yesterday we played the Initiative together, a new game coming from Corey Kineska. We played Bullet, and then we played. Well, doesn't matter what the third game was because it was so awful. It will be showing up in one of my 10 negative reviews. It was that bad, like really bad. I played a card that took my daughter out of the game, which again shows that she was not a sore loser because she did not cry and weep and run from the room. And I was like, I want to see how this card works. Oh my word, it was so terrible. Now, I mean, she made sure that I lost the game too, so there was that. I couldn't comment on Mike's solo game list because I played solo games a lot less than he has. I've done my top 10 solos, I think, at some point, and I will probably do another one in a few years because I play more solo games now. But, like, for example, I just played in Magnificent Style, Pickett's Charge. It's a solo game, and many of the 27 games I played at Marvel United were solo. And I'm probably going to play Waste Nights solo in a bit. But for the most part, I don't play solo nearly as much. I like real eggs. No, we don't have real eggs in our house because that's insane. The reason I think it's insane is because I always forget where an egg is hidden. And if you forget where an egg is hidden and it's real egg, that's really bad. Also, just it's messy and no. Plastic with candy is what we do. It's fun. Except for whenever I run the Easter egg things for our church before, where I say, "Hey, give me Easter eggs, give me candy," and we put them together. And I always have to tell people, "Don't give me chocolate." I don't understand why people insist on putting chocolate in Easter eggs. It always melts. It's nasty. Just put in non-chocolate candy. Also, don't put the Easter eggs out too early because the ants will find their way inside them. Tom is grumpy this morning. Oh, I'm sorry. If I am grumpy, I don't mean to be. I'm actually in a really good mood. I'm really excited about the next few days because I'm spending them with Jimmy, and I mean he's watching a cartoon right now, but as soon as I'm done here, which is now, we're going to the zoo, and then we're gonna do some other fun stuff together. And he's excited about it. I'm excited about it. Everyone's excited about it except the dog. So it's gonna be a good time here. Thank you, everybody, for asking questions, and I apologize that I didn't answer all of them. It was probably because I was grumpy. I will hopefully we'll see you all. We're not going to do anything live here on the Dice Tower till Wednesday, crowd surfing. So it's going to be a quiet channel. Let me quick look for you all, and I'll tell you if there's what videos are going up. There's not much. But we have a backlog of like, I don't know, 10,000 videos. You'll have something to watch. Go back and watch the Spring Spectacular. Anyhow, let's see here. Oh, yeah. Actually, in just a bit, Tim Chuan is going to do a How to Play Aquatica. Tim does an amazing video. That's going up today. Ambi's doing Rolling Stock Stars. Mark has a couple previews going up tomorrow. Brian's doing Rapa Nui. Jason is taking a look at BattleCon 2020. And Melissa doing How to do Fury of Dracula. And Graham doing Tipping Point. I lied. There's 6 videos going up tomorrow. Wednesday is the only day that's going to be lower. Liz is going to be talking about 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. And we'll be doing crowd surfing at 2. Thursday, we're back to normal. Board Game Breakfast. I'm doing a top 10 list. Top 10 games with timers. And then I'll be reviewing the new Funkoverse expansion, the new Villainous expansion. I'll be taking a look at Doctor Who Keys of the TARDIS, Nouvelle France, 6 pretty bad games, Fired Up. Oh, yeah, Fired Up. For Science and Danger Park. And, other things will be going up this week. And then next week, we're really back to normal. So I'll be doing 5 more great games, Shoots and Marbles. It's all back on board. So there you go. I appreciate everybody watching. I'm sorry there's not as much content over the next few days, but I'm not that sorry. We do need to take a little bit of time off here. And now I'm going to go spend time with my son. I hope you all have a fantastic day. Stay safe. Things are getting better. It's going to be a great time. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.